Heroes, villains, a tale as old as time, and the never-ending battle to protect truth and justice from those who thrive on chaos and bloodshed. Come with us as we peel back the mask on your beloved Crusaders of Light and dive deep into the dark and twisted abyss of the most feared and hated harbingers of doom. Follow your host, Power Maximus, and everyone's favorite demigod, Lord Triage, as they take a trip down the rabbit hole that is everything super. So, are you a hero or a villain? Either way, find that super suit and suit up for the Super Breakdown.
What is up? What is up? We are back with another episode. This one's gonna be a little bit shorter than normal, but we're gonna have a good time. You already know what it is. I'm your host, Power Maximus, and we're here with everyone's favorite demigod, Lord Triage. We are your hosts of the Super Breakdown. All right. So today, just to keep with the festive manners, everything that's going on, especially with it being cold as fuck outside, we're gonna talk about Mr. Cold himself, Mr. Freeze, also known as was it Victor Fries, right?
Correct.
That's how it's pronounced. Yeah. Every if you don't know him, you about to find out. Lord Triage, take it away.
Okay, so Victor Price first appears in 1959 in Batman number 121. And originally he's actually called Mr. Zero. I take that as like a pun of like, below zero or absolute zero.
Below zero. Yeah.
And like, and then when we first see him, he looked a little goofy. And
Yeah, like a long nose, a big head. Like, wasn't his suit like yellow and pink?
yeah.
Oh man. Obviously, it's not. Obviously, it's not the uniform, the suit that we usually see him in, and it's his cryo suit. But we'll get to that in a second.
Now, but most characters are offering different versions and reimaginings, and then in this instance, it was supposed to be that Victor was a doctor who studied I don't want to say cryokinesis because that's the ability to manipulate ice, but
Cryogenics.
thank you. And
Yep.
how when Victor was in the process of studying, he broke one of his containments tubes that was holding the cryo material, and it spilled all over him, thus making him have to only be able to survive in sub-zero temperatures while developing an ice gun.
And within doing that, that's why he ends up creating a cryogenic suit, a suit that can constantly pretty much regulate his body temperature to be below zero at all times. And with that, he just so happens to, clearly a suit like this needs power, needs a fuel source, and which is why we often see him as pulling crimes, which are like robbery, like robbing like diamond shops and shit like that, because the suit runs off of diamonds.
Yes,
Which
man,
I
right.
never, I never really understood why, because like a diamond is a stone. I never really caught the connection between, like, I know back in the day, for Drew it was like ice or whatever, you iced out and shit like that. But ah, if that's the pun that they're playing on, I never really got that. You know, the diamonds fueling an ice suit. Maybe I don't know. Maybe the lasers are focusing through the diamonds, accelerating, making stronger. I don't know. They never really give us the science behind it too much.
Said, "Hey man, you're now rocking with the best. My neck looked like Mr. Freeze shot me in my chest."
All right. Now we end up. Whew, sorry, just took a sip of my Terramana Añejo. God, that's strong.
Paramount Tequila, Dwayne the Rock Johnson, please sponsor us.
Please sponsor us. But now we end up seeing him. The next time we end up seeing him after his awkward, like, first appearance in the comic books, we end up seeing him in the actual live action Adam West Batman, and that's when we first get pretty much the understanding of where this new kind of like origin story comes from, with the falling into the chemical compound while he's doing his experiments, the below zero blood or whatever. And then, so what I ended up finding out was that they found that the person who like wrote pretty much his origins, his new origins in the comic book, when it's like, his what, he's always been like, he's always been into cryogenics since he was young, but he was like a bit of a psychopath when he was young, and he was like freezing animals, putting them in a deep freezer and shit like that. He was freezing them alive, putting them in a deep freezer and shit. And then, like, his parents was like, yeah, there's something wrong with the child, and sent them off to like boarding school. He ends up falling for, as he goes through that, and in college he ends up falling for her, who he later marries, his wife Nora.
Yes, correct. This is a tie-in further from the animated series where they gave him his revamp, which is the definitive story until the New 52 story, which I'm not even gonna lie, I don't even acknowledge the New 52 story.
Yeah, I don't. I don't. They try. What was the crisis? What was the crisis before New 52? Was it Crisis on Infinite Earths or Flashpoint?
It was. I want to say the crisis was the Flashpoint.
Yeah, so it went Crisis on Infinite Earths, Flashpoint Paradox, then the New 52. Yeah, and that's where we get Justice League War and shit like that. All right, but yeah, so yeah, I don't acknowledge the New 52 either, but like, they, just like Harley Quinn in the comic and animated series, like, the animated series is so good that they pretty much ended up adopting it into the comic books, and like, that was it. That's his origin story. Pretty much after a year of being married to Nora, she come to find out she has a terminal illness. They're not able to find the cure. He can't find the cure of it, so he decides, you know what? Let me freeze her, just to slow down the progression of this terminal illness, and then it'll give him time to figure it out. But he was doing this while working for what was it, Gotham Labs or Goth Labs?
It was Goth Corp.
GC, Goth Corp.
Yes.
And pretty much like his boss, who was a pretty shitty dude, pretty much had like cut the funding for him to continue his research in cryogenics, but he had kept it, but Freeze kept it going on the low. The boss found out about it, he ends up running down on him in his laboratory, and within doing so, an accident happens. He falls into the cryo tank, whatever, thus changing him until he has to, he can only survive in subthermal temperatures. And then from then on out, he has a vendetta against the owner of GothCorp to pretty much to get his revenge, because he's like, oh, you did this to me, and then on top of that, you killed my wife. Yeah, it's over for you. And if you're interested in seeing like the full story of this, take a look at Batman the Animated Series. The episode is let me see, what is it? It's Heart of Ice.
Yes.
So yeah, definitely check that out. Heart of Ice is actually one of the most popular episodes of Batman the Animated Series.
They won a daytime Emmy for it.
Was it Heart of Ice?
Yeah, well, they won a daytime Emmy for Heart of Ice, along with a few other episodes.
Yep, and I know it was a soundtrack to Heart of Ice that they got the Emmy for, right?
But it might have been the overall story.
Yeah, I think it was the story, and it was the soundtrack, because I know the actual the composer got an award off of that. Because I believe we talked about it in our Batman Animated Series episode back at the beginning of the season, earlier this year. Check that out. That is on our YouTube. It's in our the podcast playlist. Batman the Animated Series. That was an awesome episode. That was a great episode. We had a lot of fun with that one.
Good old Ferris Boyle.
And so, correct me if I'm wrong. Like GothCorp was kind of like a mediocre Wayne Tech.
It was basically a subsidiary. From what I took from it, is that it was one of those things where Bruce Wayne owned it, but he didn't necessarily oversee it. So with GothCorp was run by this cat named Ferris Boyle, and how basically once Victor found out Nora was sick, he went on this week-long, almost month-long venture of just not showing up to work, not doing things, not checking in. He was just doing everything he could to try to preserve her life until he wound up freezing her. Because he studied cryogenics at GothCorp, so he figured he could freeze her until he found a cure. The issue came in when Ferris Boyle found out about this shit.
Yeah, right. The same thing I was running through. Boss found out about it. I just couldn't remember the name, the boss's name. I know it every time when it came in my head, I would always say Ferris Bueller.
Ferris Boyle. Yeah, Ferris basically came in and told him, because he used his technology to freeze Nora's body. He basically said that he owned Nora's body.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Nah, bro. You ain't gonna come in here and tell me that you own my wife? Excuse me? You own my wife? Yeah, nah. I didn't even know. I didn't know about that part.
Yeah, he fired Victor on the spot, and then had security try to collect Nora's body. When Victor tried to stop him, Victor gets thrown into the chemicals, and then that puts him in the state that we all know and love today.
Okay. So we gotta at least touch on it. Just so I'll give everybody a quick run through of his New 52 origins, which was super. So pretty much he became obsessed with cryogenics when his mom fell through the ice on a lake, and pretty much the water preserved her long enough so that they were able to save her life or some shit like that. And so ever since then, he's been obsessed with freezing shit. And literally, that's pretty much literally it. So that's why I don't recognize it. I don't recognize the New 52 at all as one of his origins. Now we've seen his entrance into the comic books. we seen his entrance to live action with Adam West Batman, right? Um, then we see him again in animation, which is Batman the Animated Series. That then translates back to his new run in the comic books and his official run in the comic books. But after that, we end up seeing him pop up again. And was it Batman and Robin?
Yeah.
Or was it Batman Forever?
Well,
It was
he hold
Batman
on.
and Robin.
Yes, it's Batman and Robin. Yes.
All right, cool. Because I don't know, I always get those two mixed up, right? Because like they're supposed to, they're pretty much like Batman and Robin is a sequel to Batman Forever, even though Val Kilmer was Batman and Batman Forever.
Correct.
And George Clooney is Val Kilmer's Batman. So I always end up getting those two mixed up sometimes. But yeah, so in this adaptation of Victor Freeze, we see him played by the muscle-bound, former governor, not at that time, but himself, the Terminator himself, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Which, listen, forgive me, Level 7s, but I personally enjoyed the fuck out of that movie. I thoroughly enjoyed that movie, and I so desperately enjoyed Arnold Schwarzenegger playing Mr. Freeze. Now, with that aside, I don't think that they wrote the character very well, or at least I don't feel like they did him any kind of close to. You know what I mean? I feel like his drive was to find a cure for his wife, but now he's trying to freeze the city. You know what I mean? I feel like his actions were steering away from his drive. The thing that was supposed to drive him.
Oh, you're getting a little ahead of yourself. The issue came in
Maybe,
because
yeah.
Victor had thought that Batman had unplugged Nora from her power supply, thus he had killed her. So he figured, what better way to punish the bad than destroy the city he protects and loves?
Thank you. That's the part I'm missing. Again, I haven't watched that movie in so damn long. But I even then, so like as in like course of events, like now that I'm thinking back to it, it looks like they kind of did his origins, the same story as his origins, but just without him getting his powers. Because if you look at it, what happens in the main story, he wants to take out Boyle because he thought that he killed his wife, which is what starts his, which is supposed to start his pretty much his crime spree, essentially, of him like actually doing like bad shit to do bad shit.
Listen, I'd have violated Ferris Boyle. I'd have made him see God.
Bro, I would have made him see God, brought him back and made him see God again, and then froze him there. Like, like they would have been finding chunks of him inside sharks for years. Yeah, especially with all the criminals. It would have been too easy just to run down on him, freeze him up, take his frozen body over to the Penguin, and let the Penguin chop. Like, yeah, it would have been over. It would have been a wrap. But no, I thought I don't know. I just felt like it was entertaining. I also enjoyed all the fucking ice puns too. I'm a punny kind of guy. I highly enjoyed the ice puns.
They do over like 30.
Yeah, yeah, they do. But I feel like they're they're so well placed.
Nah,
You know what I'm saying?
nah.
Like don't get me wrong. Some of them were definitely they had to really they stretched to get them in there. But a lot of them was like, okay, I see that. I don't know. At least for me, maybe I gotta rewatch it. Maybe I gotta rewatch it. But I don't know. I still enjoy it. The memories that I have from the movie, I enjoyed. You know, that was Bat Nipples, right?
Yes.
Now, a lot of people are mad about the Bat Nipples, but to me, it makes sense.
Oh, I can't wait to hear this shit. Go ahead.
They're dealing with a man that makes shit cold. If I'm running around in a spandex suit and it gets cold, of course I'm gonna have pointy nipples in my suit. I feel like the Bat Nipples was to represent how cold it was.
Oh my god. No. No. Listen. From what I understood, it was because they thought of the bat suits being like inspired by like Greek and Roman statues. So it's like if you ever see Greek and Roman statues, they put a lot of detail on the body, especially what we considered the more masculine parts or the genitals. So that's one of the reasons why the suits look the way they do. That's also why you get them ass shots when they're suiting up.
I forgot. But even though we were tortured by the Bat Nipples, we also got something good out of it too.
I'm waiting.
Come on now.
I'm waiting.
Who was in the movie? Who we have in the movie?
Go ahead, I'm waiting.
We had Robin. And I really hope I'm not getting this shit confused with another fucking Batman movie. Batgirl was in that one too.
Correct.
Alfred's daughter, right?
His niece.
Okay. His niece. My bad, his niece. Okay, yeah. So yeah, but we got her out of that movie.
Boo.
But at the same time, her suit also had bat nipples. She had bat boobs on her suit.
I don't remember that. I do not remember that at all.
Yeah.
You sure about that?
She actually had bat nipples. I wish I could double check. Would you mind? Or are you able to double check? But either way, we still get the ass shot.
Good God. Yeah, I'm not. I just find it funny that she's fighting crime in high heels, but I'll let it go. Nah,
that was like, what the fuck?
I thought you were gonna go Uma Thurman playing Poison Ivy. That's where I thought you were going with this, but nah.
That's another one. I wasn't getting there yet. I wasn't there yet, but that's another one. That's another one right there too. We're not gonna talk about Bane. We're not talking about Bane. We were not talking about Bane. That was not Bane.
He looked the part. Other than that,
yeah, that was it. He just looked the part. That was it. They look like he walked straight out of Mucha Lucha. Yeah, no.
But that's the way Bane looks, though.
Yeah, yep. He's a luchador. Now, I don't know. I feel like we got a lot of good stuff out of that movie, and a lot of people don't give it the credit that it deserves. Does it deserve a lot of credit? No, not a lot, but it deserves some. Definitely deserves some. All right, what did you think about Frieza's suit and Batman and Robin?
I mean, it was one of the things like where I wasn't necessarily blown away by it. I mean, it kind of. I really don't know. I can't really put it into words. It's one of those things that you can look at the suit and know it's Mr. Freeze. Like I don't think it was badly done for the time. Like it gave that look like he had to wear it. But it's also one of those things like where it depends on what we're talking about. Because usually when it comes to suits or costumes, they either go completely over the top and the shit is goofy, like Michael Bay's Shutter, or they slightly modernize it to make it fit the world that they're working in, like Carl Urban's Dread with his armor.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I mean, I could see it being a bit in between there. It was. If they would have did any more to it, it would have been hanging on the goofy side. Me personally, I thought it was like you said, for the time, I thought it was good for the time. Good.
I had more issue with shit like when he's in the fucking hideout. That was the fucking big ass refrigerator with all his men, and they're in there trying to eat frozen fucking meals that are actually frozen, singing "I'm Mr. White Christmas, I'm Mr. Snow, I'm Mr. Icicle, I'm Mr. 10 Below. They call me Snow Miser, whatever I touch starts some hot clutch. I'm too much.
I'm too much.
Like he's in there in a fucking elite bathrobe, with big ass polar bear slippers on, trying to conduct these niggas a thing. And then Vivica Fox was his assistant. She was half naked.
See, told you we got some good stuff out of that movie.
And Vivica Fox is only in that one fucking scene.
The one scene. When did that movie come out?
I want to say 97.
When did Independence Day come out?
Independence Day was like 94, maybe.
4. Okay.
Nah, Independence Day I want to say like maybe 96.
Yeah. So yeah.
Independence Day was after Bad Boy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he was still reeling off that success when they did that. But dude, again, like I said, we got some good, we got some bad. We got that horrible ass scene, but we get Foxy. You know what I'm saying? So it was like a back and forth to me. It was a give and take. For every bad thing, there was like an equally as good thing, at least in my eyes. So that's why to me, I feel like it wasn't a horrible movie, but it wasn't a great movie either. There was definitely goofy ass moments, but again, I feel like they were trying to toe that line between, making. They were trying to toe that line between like, all right, comic book, but also like TV era, yet stick to original, but also make it lighthearted and fun for people. They were just trying to toe too many lines. If they would have just took the source material, but again, this is before people actually. This is when people actually could write for at least a little bit, but like they were towing too many lines, so it ended up coming out really messy to me. There wasn't you can't pinpoint which like kind of vibe they were going with. Like the suit was more modern, but then again you had like goofy ass scenes like that as well. But then you had really deep scenes when it's like, when he's sitting there crying about his wife. How did you feel about his makeup, like outside of the suit?
I mean, they basically had to make him look like a snowman. So it's like, how do you really do that? Is the $1 million question. I mean, I wasn't necessarily against it, but it's one of those things like, like to me, like what for a first try, I'll give it a 6.
6. All right,
Yeah.
all right. Yeah, I can say the same. Um, I feel like they did what they could do with what they had. The one thing about the makeup I did like is that like when he's out of his suit for a certain amount of time, there'll just seem like they powered his suit down or whatever. And like his eyes, the detailing they did around his eyes and shit like that. It looked like he was like kind of melting in a way, but like he was like drying up. I don't know. I just thought that was pretty cool. I did feel like they'll find that the doctor pun at the end was a little too much with the, you know, take 2 of these, call me in the morning. That whole kind of like, I don't know. I just couldn't. Yeah, I couldn't get jiggy with that.
But once again,
So,
first and foremost, Freeze was a healer. He was a doctor, and it's like that whole thing with
hmm
Alfred and him telling him like, "Yo, how do I treat McGregor syndrome?" I believe it was McGregor syndrome, which I believe is
hmm
just a disease that is specifically in DC Comics because I hear it mentioned a few times. I believe they mentioned it in Arrow. I want to say William Tachman's sister had it, the Clock King, and that's one of the reasons why he
yeah,
was running
yep.
rampant doing all the shit he was doing. So I I get the fact that he had to become the healer again to help him, and that's what kind of made him go back to the not necessarily the straight and narrow, but what made him accept his fate.
I agree. Don't get me wrong, like I have nothing wrong with that with that happening. It was just the pun. It was literally just the pun. Like that scene whatsoever, like that scene altogether with like you said with him coming back to, you know, fuck, all right, I am a doctor, and I can't let this person die. I took an oath, whatever, whatever. That's one thing. But the pun threw me off. Also, again, out of having a movie that was so pun heavy, so pun heavy, that was the one that broke the back for me. It wasn't Have an Ice Day. It wasn't The Iceman Cometh, which I actually really like Iceman Cometh. I like the sound of it. Always like the sound of it. Um, what was it? Did I say Ice to Meet You? Like all those, yeah, all those fucking puns were fucking. I thought they were enjoyable because the man was fucking ice. Um, but again, I also was a kid at the time watching this movie too, so I had a weird sense of humor. Now, from from I don't think we don't see Mr. Freeze again until Gotham, like in anything live action. I mean, we see him in the Arkham games.
Yes,
Um,
I want to say it's called Cold Cold World or Cold Cold Night. No, it's Cold Cold Heart. Excuse me, Cold Cold Heart.
hmm
Part of Arkham Origins. Now, how did you feel about the Batman, where they made him basically like just a high end jewel thief?
um, I thought, and again, I thought it fit the time. I thought it fit the vibe that they were going with. Um, I wish they would have, especially with the Batman being like one of like darker, you know what I'm saying? To stick along with what we get with the animated series Batman Adventures of Batman and Robin, what we get with Batman Beyond. Um, because before that, all we had was the Justice League, which was pretty much Batman, but like more brighter, like not as dark necessarily as the animated series. So it was nice for me. It was nice to see them get back to a little bit darker. I feel like it would have been a perfect place for them to stick with the fact of him doing it for his wife, because it would have added some extra depth to the character. Um, Overall, for what it was for the time for what they were going with, I'd give it Well, let me also take into character design too. I love the animation. I love the art style for that show. Um, but with Frieza's design, uh, uh it was all right. But they made him an icicle. They made him a literal like icicle.
But I was okay with
Um,
them doing away with the whole thing with the his power being his own containment. I like the fact he didn't need the gun no more. Like, nah, I thought that was cool. That was
yeah,
very
they
very
they
modern.
they, they made him. They essentially made him a mutant, which is
Yeah.
they did that with majority of the characters. The only person I feel like wasn't a mutant wasn't like Cobblepot, the Penguin. He wasn't really mutated. Um, but like Killer Croc was like a legit mutant and shit like that. The Joker, like I don't know, everyone, like all the characters in that, all his rogues gallery were like, I felt like they were exaggerated. Like they were literally taken to like an extra level. Mr. Freeze, now he's an actual kind of like icicle. Black Skull, who we end up seeing, he has like a literal black skull, like a mask, like it's stuck to his face, kind of shit.
Oh, you're talking
Black
about Black Mask. Yeah.
Black Mask. Um, Black Skull. Oh yeah, Black Skull is fucking Red Skull with the symbiote. That's who Black Skull is. But yeah, Black Mask is like his head was actually like the actual fucking mask. Yeah, so they kind of like took everything a step further. Like the first time was good. Taking into design, everything, I would give it a 7, maybe even an 8, just because, like I said, I really, really like that series. I thought it was super fucking fun to watch. It was super dark. The hand-to-hand combat and that shit was amazing. And again, also him not having to use the gun was awesome because they were able to actually have him like go hand to hand and toe to toe with Batman as well. So, and again, like I said, that the show had an amazing hand to hand combat. So, yeah, I think he's gone toe to toe like hand to hand combat in that show with everybody.
Yeah.
Like everybody, all his villains got hands in that show, including Penguin.
Joker too would shock the fuck out of me.
Don't like
Like they
yeah,
made him seem like he was almost like a what's the word? The capoeira?
Yeah, Capoeira Fire. Because I feel like they took some inspiration from Lateef Chowder, who was like
Yeah.
he's the number one like capoeira fighter, like any capoeira fighter you see in any video game. Especially Eddie Gordo, who is a character that's based off of Lateef. Like he's capoeira in entertainment everywhere. So I see they definitely kind of like base a lot off of him. But god damn, everybody in that show had the hands. I remember the when we first get Robin really in there. The first time Robin meets Penguin, he Batman and him pull up on Penguin when he has his two little female henchmen or whatever. Fucking Penguin says some shit about him being a shrimp or small fry, and like Robin just beats his ass. This is like no remorse. It just jumps on him and just starts punching and kicking the shit out of him.
Yeah,
he hears
called him a lackey.
Ah! Yeah, lackey. He's like, I'm gonna show you who a fucking lackey is, and just like beats his ass. It's like straight like fight back, fight back. So again, like I said, everyone in that show had fucking hands.
He's like, yeah, you was popping all that good shit a minute ago. What happened?
And the fact that Batman, he just stood there. Bruce just stood there. Even fucking Penguin's henchmen just stood there. They all just watched him get his ass beat by the little kid. Like that show was great. So if I'm giving the show, I'm personally giving the show a 9 out of 10. The Freeze is definitely a 7 to 8 in that.
Okay, I actually got ahead of myself. So, what did you think of because I almost completely forgot about this. What did you think about Sub Zero?
Sub-Zero.
Yeah, Power, the animated movie.
Hmm.
So,
I know of it. I don't think I watched it though.
okay, so Sub Zero was an animated movie from the animated series that ties in where it got revealed that Barbara Gordon is the same blood type as Nora Freeze. So Freeze kidnap her. Excuse me. Freeze kidnaps her with every intention of trying to use Barbara Gordon's organs to swap out with Nora's.
That was the animated movie from which animated series? Batman the animated series or The Batman?
From Batman the animated series. Because there's a specific term, I can't remember what it's called, but it's an organ transplant. And like when they figure out that's what she was gonna do, like Robin and Batman like fly off to save her.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, I don't think I actually watched that one. I saw Hush. I saw the Phantom, whatever. I can't remember. Seen
Mask of
that
the
one.
Phantasm.
Yeah, Mask of the Phantasm. No, I didn't watch Sub-Zero. Nope. I saw the Hush one. Saw the Mask of the Phantasm. I did not see Sub-Zero. That's damn. Yeah, no, you can't get any darker than that. Like,
Yeah.
god damn it, it's shit like that. Like, I don't understand how the show survived as long as it did because it was so far ahead of its fucking time. Really. Like, ah, man. Damn, bro.
Yeah, nah, they were doing things.
That's crazy because I don't think we. Now I'm thinking back to the old episode. I don't think did we really even touch on the movies? Yeah, bro. I don't think we even touched on the animated movies for the series. Maybe we talked about Phantasm.
Oh, I'd be very surprised if we didn't. If we didn't talk about Phantasm, I mean Sub Zero we might not have brought up. But nah, Sub Zero was different, man.
Yeah, I do remember this. I definitely Batman versus Mr. Freeze, Sub-Zero. Yep, I do definitely remember that. I never watched it though. I never watched it. So what would you rank it? What is your opinion on it?
That was 10 out of 10.
Honestly, anything and everything with that show, it was 10 out of 10. Like, Mask of the Phantasm is literally one of the most popular Batman animated films. Hush is, kind of close behind it as well. Like, man, it's a classic. Like, Mr. Freeze has there's so much potential with Mr. Freeze, because not only that, but they also did him again recently. They also brought him into live action again recently in Gotham. I don't know. How'd you feel about his Gotham portrayal?
I think it was true to the character. I think it was good for what they used, considering it was just television. And I like the fact that it was one of those things where he kept his humanity and his relationship with his wife intact.
Yep. Shit. All right. I couldn't have said it better. They kept like super true to the character. Cosmetically, like the way the character looked, I felt like it may be like just a little too much for me. But other than that, I like it. I thought it was fine. I thought it was perfect. Because I also like to point out that they try to do a Mr. Freeze kind of thing on Flash not too long ago as well. They had like a bunch of different it's pretty much when they were like exploring Caitlyn's kind of like background and her powers and what her father had did to her and stuff like that, which ended up making Frost. And then like when we see him, he has a Mr. Freeze type fucking suit on. So
Hold on.
I felt
hold on. What you mean, Mr. Freeze on Flash? Don't tell me you're bringing up Captain Cold.
No, not Captain Cold. Not Captain Cold. Caitlyn's father. They pretty much made him a Mr. Freeze-esque character. Because when we see him, he has a Mr. Freeze suit on. So pretty much he has cryokinetic powers, use his DNA with his daughter's DNA, and that's what ended up giving her the Frost split personality.
Listen, man, I don't. He had to bring this up. Okay, so I'm
bringing up bad representations.
I did not like any of that. So I didn't like the fact that they kept trying to humanize Frost. I didn't like the whole thing with her going from bad girl to protective sister to anti-hero to full-on hero. I didn't like none of that. Sometimes you just got to let the villain be a villain. If they didn't want Caitlyn Frost to be quote unquote evil, they shouldn't have introduced the character then. Or they should have had her overcome that character. I didn't like that whole thing where Frost had this whole revelation where she wanted to be part of the team and be a good guy. I didn't like that. And then as far as like her dad being Icicle and them all having split personalities based off of Cole, like, no, I thought that shit was stupid.
And that's just, and even then, it didn't make any sense. Like, I know Stargirl takes place in like a different universe or whatever, but I feel like that's a crapshoot different because Icicle is actually in Stargirl.
Yes.
He's actually he's the main villain, the overarching main villain of the entire series.
I will say that was done well.
That was done very well. I felt like, and like this last season was actually pretty fucking dark. Like it was pretty dark. What is it like? The dark spirit or whatever that was going around possessing and fucking with them and shit. Yeah, no, that last season was fucking crazy. Now I don't know, as something that I'd like to say about the character in itself is I feel like he really revolutionized what it meant to be a character, an ice character, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be a metahuman type ice character or a Captain Cold style ice character, he made being an ice character cool. No pun intended, I think. Fuck it. Now we'll go with it. We'll go with it. I wasn't trying to make a pun, but then I was like, fuck it. Yeah, make it a pun. It's a pun. I meant to say that. Yeah. But yeah, no, I just feel like if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have had like a lot of these different other characters. That also goes back to Iceman. We first see Iceman years and years and years before we see Mr. Freeze. But again, like
Said
he
Bobby
made
Drake.
it cool.
Bobby Drake. Bobby Drake. Bobby Drake.
Like yeah, I just felt like Mr. Freeze made it cool though. He made being an ice character cool. I don't know. I personally like the character. I want to see him to do more with the character. I'd be. I don't know about anybody else, but I personally would be interested in seeing like Gotham, a Gotham, like pretty much a spin-off from Gotham, but like actually about Batman, an actual live action Batman TV show that is built off of Gotham.
Well, they could do it
So
the same way.
Go ahead.
But
Oh no, yeah, I was gonna say because I feel like it will be with the same the same actors, because the last was it the legit like last episode of Gotham, he is full on Batman. He's like year one, like not even year one. He's like first 6 months Batman in like the last episode of Gotham. So it'll be nice to see, when it comes full circle, we see him. Gotham was like what it ended in like 19, I think. Gotham ended in like 18 or 19, whatever. Like all these years later, this is what Gotham's come to. Batman doing the Batman thing, and actually have like bring in the full detective work, an hour-long episode, and that way they're able to really bring in all the characters fully fledged and have their character of Batman embody all aspects that are Batman. The brawler, the detective, what was the other one? I know there was like there's brawler Batman, there's detective Batman, and then I don't know, and also still have him be Bruce Wayne. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that would be great. To like fully flesh out a lot of the characters and have him run into Victor Freeze like on a regular basis. Because again, like Freeze is a stone cold character. Like his character, he is driven by one thing and one thing only, and that is the love of his wife and finding a cure for his wife. I feel like I feel like that would be something that'd work good. But yeah, I personally feel like we need to see more Victor Freeze, more Mr. Freeze within with pretty much within the media. They got a good character that they can really build with.
well, the story is that he's being considered for the next big bad guy in the Batman in the Robert Pattinson series. So we'll see.
That's gonna be interesting because I heard that. So there's the Penguin TV series, HBO series that's gonna be coming out, right? And that literally takes place right after the ending of the Batman movie. So I'm interested to see if. Pardon me, sorry, still got a little cold. I'm interested to see if like where this picks up at. You know what I mean? Clearly, they still have to. I don't know. They might clear up the ending of the Batman and the Penguin show. So we got to watch that to see where they're going to probably pick up this new movie at. But I feel like that would be perfect. And the fact that it's rated R, right, and they can go really dark with it. I love that. I love that. This is what DC needs to be doing. Shit like this. Really digging in the crates and letting their dark stories be dark. Shout out to Matt Reeves for making it work. All right, quick side tangent. How did you feel about Rob Pattinson as the Batman?
Well, we've already gone over this. I didn't think he was the best, but I don't think he was terrible. Like he was all right. He made mistakes, but it's like I think it was more a tech aspect on his end than it was anything else. And he didn't have a fear factor to me. Like they were afraid of him, but they weren't afraid of him the way they should have been afraid of him.
Oh, well, remember, this is also year 2 Batman.
But still,
So
like I get he was jumping out, beating people's asses and shit, but like Christian Bale was hanging motherfuckers upside down and interrogating them and dropping people from fire escapes. Like, nah.
True.
Like you had niggas shoot Michael Keaton in the chest. He fell over. He stood back up like the fucking Undertaker. Niggas knew what time it was.
Tis true, but I guess they also wanted to base it a little bit more in reality. You know what I mean? If you've been running these streets, let's say, because Bruce was gone for what, 20 years, less than that.
What are you talking about?
Like,
When he's training?
Yeah. When he leaves Gotham to train before he becomes Batman.
I'd say 10 to 15.
Yeah, I was like 10 to 15 years. So if you've been in these streets running shit with no problem for 10 to 15 years, your mindset is, I'm the shit. Ain't nobody out here can do nothing to me. And so you hear rumors of a nigga running around, jumping out the shadows, dressed like a bat, fighting niggas. You're like, oh, yeah, nah, this ain't nothing. Like it ain't nothing. Like that's like he's still kind of like urban legend Batman at that time. Nobody really thinks that he's like, not a lot of people really believe in him until they see him, and then they're like, oh shit, this is real. It's a real motherfucker. It's really happening. And that's how, and to me, that's how it seems kind of like the legend of Batman ends up getting built within Gotham. He's an urban legend. Nobody believes in him. Nobody blah, blah, blah until they actually see him. And like, I feel like Batman has the Freddy Krueger effect.
What?
If you think about it, it's spread, the fear of Batman is spread by word of mouth.
Oh my God.
By niggas that have seen Batman do they shit, running to other people like, yo, this dude, he came out of nowhere dressed as the Bat, started beating everybody's ass. Remember Tony? Yeah, the new guy, yeah, Tony, yeah. This motherfucker's up in Gotham General right now. He laid up. This nigga popped out of nowhere, beating niggas' ass. It spread word of mouth, and then people started getting more and more afraid. The more and more frequent these stories of niggas hopping out the shadows, beating people's ass just like a bat started popping up. So with Rob Pattinson, I'll give it a pass, and I'll give it leeway on the fact that like he's still new. You know what I mean? Even he himself hasn't come into like the commandment of his fear yet. You know what I mean? He's like, oh, I'm just out here to get the job done. Not, I need to make these niggas fear me. They need to be afraid to say my name. Because that's how it was. Anytime, like a lot of times we see, like, we'll see two henchmen sitting there talking about Batman. and one and be like, "Shh, don't say his name, man." Like on a like he's supernatural. They speaking as if like he's like supernatural shit. I heard when you say his name, he'll pop up out of nowhere, come out of shadows on you. Like, seeing him as like a supernatural entity in some way, shape, or form. Like Rob Pattinson's Batman he ain't worried about that shit. So that's not something that character of Batman, and I feel like that character Batman would be focused on. Again, he's only in his second year. He's still figuring out his own tech, still figuring out his own way. You know what I mean? Right now, let's put it this way. Look at Arrow. The way Oliver Queen was when he first came back from the NU, the first season Oliver Queen, he was just doing it out of vengeance. He had no real purpose, no real aim. He was just doing vengeance. That's all it was. This is just vengeance Batman. This isn't great or good Batman. It's not Justice League Batman. You know what I mean? The person that's thinking about everyone else before one single person. This is, I'm going to just beat some ass and I'm going to punch my way to the city getting clean. So I feel like with him promoting that environment, if they do have Mr. Freeze be the main big bad of this, I'd be sick. I personally don't think they should go with Joker just yet. I feel like they should pull a Christopher Nolan and have Joker be the third movie.
Christopher Nolan actually had Joker be the second, but I hear where you're going with this.
Was Joker second?
Yes.
Oh,
Bane,
fuck.
third
And then
movie.
Bane was the third one. Sorry. I didn't really like that one that much, so I don't really, it doesn't register in my mind too often. Yeah, I just feel like we've seen Joker enough. We've seen Joker enough, especially with the Joker movie coming out, and then anytime you see Batman, you see Joker. I like the way Gotham did it. You did not get a Joker until later. You didn't get a Joker until later. So I thoroughly. So I would like them to do Mr. Freeze now, because they can do a lot with that shit. Especially because the city just flooded. There's water everywhere. Come on now. Especially like with the entire city got flooded. So they're definitely not going to get that entire city drained. They're probably that if I was to write the story, that's how I would have it. I would have the story pick up with, things are getting better from the crisis in the last movie, but they're not completely better. So there's still certain areas of the city that's flooded, right? And then from there, bring in the story of Mr. Freeze, what happened. They're probably gonna have whatever happened to Nora be as a result of what happens at the end of the last movie, which is what will draw. Well, I mean, they could have what they might end up doing is they might end up having it as Freeze have a vendetta against Batman himself. Or they could just say, or they can just dub that whole thing and have Freeze be just being Freeze, doing the regular shit, doing the crimes, taking advantage of the crisis, and stealing shit, stealing diamonds and stuff like that to do research. Blah 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 blah. I don't know. They can go many ways. They can go with have him as an actual scientist that probably a part of Wayne Tech. They'll probably have him do Wayne Tech, and they're probably not going to introduce Goth Corp. They're probably not going to introduce that yet. They're probably going to have him be a scientist as a part of Wayne Tech, and so on and so forth. And I don't know. That's that. I don't know. How would you have him? How would you have them write a Mr. Freeze movie? A Batman Mr. Freeze movie, live action.
So there has to be something that Freeze would need or want. So I would say that Freeze is stealing technology or stealing resources to cure Nora, but he doesn't have Nora. Like he's also looking for her. And then come to find out, like Ferris Bueller has her. So I said, "Good God!" So you think? See what you did? You see what you did? Fucking
My bad. Ferris
Ferris
Boyle.
Boyle
Yeah.
has her. And in the process of dealing with Mr. Freeze, Batman comes to find out about Nora, and he vows to help him help her. But in the same aspect, like say like Freeze found out who he was and was like, I can't take your word because don't you technically own the company that let this happen and all this other shit? So it's like,
Okay.
and then it's like say like
I
Freeze
definitely.
Freeze gets locked back up, and then people go to him like, "Yo, so I understand, you met the Bat, like you know who the Bat is, like who do you like who's the Bat?" And he like Freeze like giving some kind of honor to the situation, like he's taking care of my wife, so I can't let that slide. So being like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I can see that. So I essentially just have it end up playing out the same way that Heart of Ice plays out.
Yes.
I would, even if they redid Heart of Ice in its entirety in live action, I would be down with that. Just because I feel like the story is so good and so true to the character.
Or even like if you play out the whole the Sub-Zero storyline, right? Like where he kidnaps someone with every intention of using their organs to save his wife. And then, Batman finds out about this, and whether it's Hamilton Hill's son or Barbara Gordon or, some big wig or some other person who he either has to do this for, not has to do it for, but has to do it because of who this person is, up on top of the fact that it's the right thing to do. Like, once again, the stories are there. They just got to follow them.
That's true. And
is would it be a Christmas movie? Because we don't count Batman Returns as a Christmas movie. At least they don't, but I do.
Did it come out around Christmas time, right?
The whole idea of the movie takes place during Christmas.
Oh yeah, it does. See, the thing is that the world still, like society still hasn't completely 100% identified what makes a Christmas movie a Christmas movie. Does it have to be about Christmas, or does it have to come out around Christmas time and be about Christmas? Because I feel like if you release a Christmas movie in the summer, does that make it a Christmas movie? Just because it's about Christmas? You know what I'm saying? So I feel like if they wanted to make it 100% like legit, like if they wanted to make it a Christmas movie, they'd have to make it happen around Christmas time. Plus, release it around Christmas time.
Okay.
That's the only way I just so I can definitively count it as a Christmas movie. You know what I'm saying? Just so I can, because everyone is so wishy-washy about Die Hard and shit. Like,
well,
I mean, the only problem with that is Bruce Willis actually himself confirmed and said it's not a Christmas movie.
He did say that.
That's the only problem with that. He did on live television. He did it during
his roast.
Somebody's roast.
It was
It was his roast. Yep, it was his roast. That's how he finished it off. Yeah. So that's the only problem with Die Hard and it being a Christmas movie. I would still like to count it because like it's literally at a Christmas party and it came out around Christmas.
Same thing with Batman Returns. Now, Batman Returns came out in June, apparently, opposed to December. But the whole idea of the movie takes place during Christmas.
Mm. I mean, and again, that's why I would like the definition of a Christmas movie to be a movie that is about Christmas or takes place around Christmas or has something to do with Christmas that also is released in December. Doesn't have to be on Christmas or the week of Christmas. It has to be released in December.
So here's one.
And be about Christmas.
So which is A Nightmare Before Christmas? Which one is that? Is that a Halloween movie or a Christmas movie?
That is a specialty thing. That is both. That is specialty. That is specialty because it is both.
What about Rudolph and Frosty's Christmas in July?
Rudolph and Frosty's Christmas in July. Huh. Was it released in July?
I don't know. Can't answer that. I have to look it up. It just popped in my head though.
I mean, it would make no sense for it to not be released in July if it's a movie about July. Damn, that's tough though. Because again, it's a movie about Christmas. But it takes place because at that point, then you got to go into go into the movie itself and like figure out the reason why the whole movie is happening in the first place. Because now, if the movie is like here, if it's trying to spread holiday cheer for Christmas, and I guess it's supposed to be a Christmas movie, but if they're just there, pardon me, sorry. If they're just there to like fill in for like the 4th of July or some shit like that, then no, I don't know. That's damn, that's a tough one, dude. Holy shit, that's a tough one. But no, I would. It'll be cool if it was a Christmas movie. It'll be cool. Nah, I don't know. But if they did, what was that?
There's nothing else I can really think of at the moment.
Yeah, same. I mean, I don't know. I think that although it would be cool if it was a Christmas movie, it just wouldn't fit. You know what I'm saying? It just wouldn't fit. It'll be a dirt. I mean, I can't. Now I'm thinking about. I can't even say that because there's actually like horror movies that are Christmas movies because they're a horror situation that happens on Christmas and they've come out in December. What is it? Black Christmas.
Krampus.
Krampus. Violent Night. The one with David Harbour that just came out. It's like David Harbour, John Leguizamo, and like a few other people. Yeah, when Santa Claus pretty much, it's like Home Alone. Yeah, so the movie is like Home Alone, where there's a bunch of robbers trying to break into this house, but Santa Claus happens to also be delivering presents to this house. But he can't get in because the house goes into lockdown because of the people. So pretty much Santa Claus walks in on a home invasion. Pretty much. That's what Violent Nights is.
And then decides to
the
get his
girl-
dick wet with some violence.
Yeah. So the little girl at the house pretty much she has a radio or walkie-talkie, and like her and Santa Claus are conversing over walkie-talkie, and her wish is to pretty much for her family to be safe for Christmas. And Santa Claus proceeds to murk every last home invader. Yep, like bludgeoned to death every last home invader.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
alrighty
It's called
then.
Violent Nights. Violent Nights, David Harbour. David Harbour's first movie after the fail of Hellboy.
Well, that's just like what about the new movie Silent Night with the dude from Suicide Squad?
Which one?
The one that's Rick Flag,
Yeah. Oh.
where they like
Is
shoot
that-
him in the
is
throat and he can't talk because it wound up.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah, I count that. Yeah. Yep. It's supposed to come out this month, right?
Yeah, it's out already.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah. Christmas movie. Yep. It's a Christmas horror movie. Yep. I don't know. Yeah. So they could do a dark Batman, Mr. Freeze, Christmas type movie. They could run it that way, but also I could do with it just being in the wintertime, not necessarily being about Christmas, but just taking place in the winter. You know what I mean? But wasn't it summer in the Batman and Robin? Wasn't it? It was like summer in Gotham.
I really don't remember.
And then he froze everything.
Yeah, I really don't remember. They never said like what definitive month it was, or like what time of year it was, but that would make sense.
Yeah, because I remember him like the way he like melted everyone out. I pretty much refracted the laser. He took the cold serum or whatever it was out of the machine and turned the machine on by this regularly with diamonds in it, and it like refracted off all the satellites and shit like that, and like and superheated and melted everyone in Gotham.
Now, once again, I feel like that would take pinpoint accuracy. Just because there's no way that somebody would all it took was like one missed coordinate, and all of a sudden like Alaska would have melted, and then we all been fucked.
Yeah, but if he's taking over Wayne Tech and using Wayne satellites to do it, that would make sense, and that would also be a way that they could bring in other bad guys or other villains. You know what I mean? Like find somebody that have a villain that's like good at technology, who Freeze is using or paying to get him into the Wayne Tech satellites so that he can do that pinpoint accuracy to freeze everything. My only problem with that story is that I feel like that's like super James Bondy. That's like Bond villain type accurate, actions. If you look in the first movie, that's serial killer terrorist actions in the first movie. So go from something that's like very grounded to something super like James Bondy. I I don't know how I would feel about that change up.
Hmm. Well,
Yeah,
yeah, because the whole thing
uh,
with the Smilex gas and the way he was trying to dump it on the people during the parade, and then the Penguin kidnapping children, which I hope we can all agree is wrong.
yeah, that shit is weird.
Because he wanted to drown them in toxic waste. But yeah, nah. And then
Yeah, just turn them into penguins like him, mutants like him. Good old Danny DeVito. You can always count on him to be a dick to children
well, Matilda.
in mov in movies. In movies, let me say in movies because the story of Matilda is actually really, really, really awesome. It is a complete opposite of being dick to a child. Pretty much, Danny DeVito took care of the little girl from the girl that played Matilda. He took care of her for a little while, like she lived with them and stuff like that, while her mom was sick, and took care of her and shit like that. Yeah, and that whole movie he paid for. He paid for that whole movie. That's a Danny DeVito movie.
That I did know.
Yeah, so we can count on Danny DeVito being an asshole to children in a show or movie. Yeah, because even in Always Sunny, he's an asshole in Always Sunny.
Never seen it.
Yeah, it's an acquired taste. It's an acquired taste, like most FX series. It's an acquired taste. But no, that would be really, really fucking dope if they actually do freeze for the next movie. I feel like if Matt Reeves keeps his hold on it that he currently has, then they got something really, really good. And oh my god, and especially the effects, because of how innovative they were with the effects in the first movie, with pretty much everything was done on pretty much on a screen. There was no majority of that. There was no green screen of that first movie. It was like a giant TV screen behind them. So like that scene where it's Batman and Catwoman like they're standing in that construction the building that's under construction, and you see Gotham behind them and shit.
Yeah.
Gotham behind them, that was on a screen. That was on an actual TV screen. So like they had the set right of like the floor that they were on of the building under construction, right? And then behind them, the scenery, that was all on a TV screen. It's a massive wall and a massive like curved wall of OLED screens. And they can put whatever they want on the background.
Pretty dope.
Yeah. So with them being that innovative and shit like that with the first movie, yeah, I'd love to see what they would do with Freeze. I would love to see what like from the costume designs, because clearly you saw Riddler's costume. It was nothing like only there was only two things that you can make a comparison to his original look. The fact that that he wore green, and the fact that there was a question mark. That's it. Everything, it was completely different. So I would love to see the way to do Mr. Freeze's suit as well. Here's a question for you.
Go ahead.
Even though Freeze is a doctor, why is he not Dr. Freeze? Why is he Mr. Freeze and not Dr. Freeze?
Oh my god. I don't. I mean, I really don't know.
Like even back then, I thought it would have made sense for them to do Dr. Freeze instead of Mr. Freeze. Because like, what? Just because his funding got cut doesn't mean his PhD got taken away. He's still a doctor.
Listen, Ferris Boy was a big enough dick. He might have swayed it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
Still.
give me all this, player. Give me all of this. I want your doctorate. I want your high school diploma. I want your resume. I want the shoelaces out your shoes. Shit, Christ, if I want, I might take your drawers.
Damn.
Like, nah,
Well, damn.
I can see Ferris Boy will be that big of a dick. And besides, Dr. Freeze,
But also, yeah, it doesn't. You're right. It doesn't. Or who's Dr. Cold?
you mean Captain Cold?
No, Dr. Cold. There's no Dr. Cold, right?
That's all my knowledge.
He could have been Dr. Cold.
Listen, there's a Doctor Strange, there's a Doctor Fate, there's a Doctor Octopus, there's a Doctor Polaris. Maybe they just felt there was enough doctors within the comic book universe.
Listen, with the amount of damage that happens in the comic book universe, there's no such thing as too many doctors. Whether they need a therapist, whether they need physical therapy, whether they need psychological treatment, whether they just need a goddamn band-aid. Everyone is constantly always getting hurt in a comic book world. Somebody and everyone needs a doctor. Even the heroes. Majority of the heroes need doctors. Because the majority of them have mental disorders as well. So they need mental therapists. They need doctors. Literally, you have a man who dresses up as a bat because he was scared by one as a child. And thinks that beating up bad guys is going to bring his parents back to life. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I think it's one of the things like he's trying to ease
You
the
got
pain of what happened to them, but
you have you have an alien suffering from with an identity crisis. He has a split personality. At one moment he's small town Clark Kent. The next moment he is he's Superman, a superhero. Can't keep his life straight. Right? Split personality disorder. You got a man with super speed that has ADHD and ADD with PTSD after witnesses his mother being murdered in front of him. Right?
right?
Who else we got? We got fucking Shira. Look at Shira, look little hot girl. That bitch has Stockholm syndrome.
Well,
For a moment there.
Chair was a bit more of a traitor than, well, depending on what version of the story you're following. But
I'm going off Justice League.
And you know what the wild part is that is the definitive team in my mind.
Yeah, same here. Absolutely. So this, like, if you look at Shira, she had fucking Stockholm syndrome before she became a part of the Justice League. All right. And then who else we got? Talking about the epitome of identity crisis, John Jones, Martian Manhunter.
Listen, you leave that brother out of it. He's one of us.
All right. I'll give him the pass. Yep, that's my nigga. He definitely is one of us. This nigga came to Earth. It chose to be a nigga. He chose. It wasn't like that was the first person he came in contact with, so he decided to take his identity. No, he said, no, the black people of this earth go through the same shit I went through on Mars. I'm nigga.
Oh my God. Oh my God. That was a lot.
But that's what he says. That he says that. He doesn't say I am nigga, but he says that he identifies with the African American people of Earth because of they have gone through the similar things that he went through on Mars, being slave to the white Martians. Like, bro, come on, a whole different race of aliens that are white, the absence of color, enslaving the blue. I'm sorry, not the blue. Excuse me, the green and the yellow Martians. The colored Martians.
See, ladies and gentlemen, Power
Like-
Farrakhan coming back out.
But yeah, like it makes sense. It makes sense. So yes, I stand with John Jones. And John Jones. Come on. That's a black name. That's John Jones is his real name. And that shit is black. That is a black ass name if you ask me. John Jones. I'm just saying. John Jones. About that, people. I guess it's telling us. I guess it's telling us that we need to wrap it up. I guess that's what that's trying to tell me. Damn.
What
Okay.
happened there?
I don't know. They just kicked me out. It said, "Shut up! It's time to go." They said, "Power Farrakhan, you're doing too much. Doing too much, Power Farrakhan."
Mm-hmm.
And that's the man trying to censor the voice of the black man. All right, I'm done. But nah, yeah. So yeah, they all have mental issues. So yeah, no, there can never be too many doctors, especially in the DCEU. Marvel needs coroners. Marvel just needs coroners because the amount of time that they have killed all humanity is ridiculous.
Wow.
They need more coroners. But yes, Mr. Freeze, Victor Fries. We need more Victor. We need more Victor. We need more Mr. Freeze. Because again, he's the only villain, air quotes villain, in Batman's rogues gallery that isn't really a villain. A criminal, yes, but he's not doing it because he just to do it. He commits crimes that will, in a way, help him out with his overall goal, which is to bring his wife back to life, to cure her illness. Whether it be him trying to steal diamonds to fuel his suit so he doesn't die, or it's stealing certain technology in order to implement it into, seeing if it can find a cure for her. At the end of the day, it's all to cure his wife. That's why there's a lot of times when Mr. Freeze actually teams up with Batman, or at least assists Batman in one way or shape or form.
Yes, we did see this in Arkham Knight. Excuse me, in Arkham City.
Yep. We see it in Batman and Robin. We see it in Arkham City. I feel like we see it at the end of his arc in Gotham as well, where he ends up assisting Gordon in some shape or form. Because at the end of the day, he's not evil. He's not like the Joker. He's not evil. He's only there doing what he does because it's for his wife, to bring his wife back to life. Which is why we end up seeing him, if somebody hits him up like, "Yo, I want to contract you to hit this for me. I'll give you X amount of money to help fund your research." That's why he'll end up doing that. Or, "Hey, hit this lick for me real quick. I got these diamonds I can give you to help you out." Or I have, somebody's always offering him something to help him in his
He
in
said,
his
hit
quest
this
to
lick.
help his wife.
He said, hit this lick for me real quick. Oh my God.
That's how listen, that's how these young kids talk these days nowadays, man.
He said, hit this lick. That shit funny. That's so funny as hell.
But don't they dead ass be like, "Yo, rob this bank for me and I'll give you this to help you with your wife."
Yeah. Except Freeze be that type of nigga who'd be like, I done did all the work and freeze that nigga and then shatter him and then leave with the money.
Does he not? Like we've seen him do that before too.
Remember, there might be a moment of discomfort. Bang.
Yep. And there's most definitely is my favorite line out of Heart of Ice. My favorite line. "Well, you just so happen to be in my way. Thus, you made me do it." Bang. Like my boy, Batman broke in to Gothcorp's headquarters, was going through, and that he found, as soon as he found out what happened to Nora and Victor walks in the room and was like, "I shed a tear for this if I wasn't complete, if they weren't complete, if I had any if they weren't frozen or some shit like that." And it bang, it's Batman. Like, this nigga was cold. He had zero hesitation in his mission, which is why I think he would make a amazing character for Matt Reeves to use. Because the Riddler, no hesitation, he was mission driven, and he would stop at nothing to get his goal done. So Matt Reeves, please, yes, please, Mr. Freeze, as the next big bad. Lord Triage, do you have any final words for the people?
Remember, vengeance is a dish best served cold.
God damn it, I wanted to say it. Shit. I was planning on saying that too. Damn, that's good. Fuck. Now I'm on the spot. Shit. Honestly, yeah. Remember, revenge dish best served cold. My final words to the people would be, the enemy of your enemy is your friend momentarily. Enemy of your enemy is your friend momentarily. Right? On top of that, stick to what you believe in. Follow your heart. And when it comes to love,
Freeze
if
the
it's
bitch.
real, it's real. Oh shit. Oh
Freeze
shit.
that bitch. There's a reel for you this week.
Oh shit. Wow, when it comes to love, freeze that bitch. That's crazy. Wow. That's so out of pocket.
Yeah, you thought the beast was giving Stockholm syndrome? Nah, we over here freezing bitches.
Wow. Wow. That's crazy. All right. Yeah. Just remember, if you are in love and you don't gotta freeze the bitch, if she's there, right? If you got ice powers, just remember that you can make her an ice dildo as well if you don't want to deal with it. If you're out fighting crime, Frozone style.
What?
I don't know, nigga. You took what I was gonna say, and then you fucked up what I was trying to say. I'm making this shit up as I go. I don't know anymore. I'm out of options. I'm just saying whatever the fuck comes to my mind at this point. I don't know. My final words are all fucked up. Just fuck. All I do know is like, comment, follow, subscribe, share, whatever, all that shit that all these other influencers say to do. Go do what they say to do about their own shit. And fuck prep time.
Fuck prep time.
That's number one consistent thing of at all times. Fuck prep time. Wing it. Follow your instincts. Follow your instincts. And if you end up in jail, well, I guess it was meant to be. And with that, there you have it. Another episode of the Super Breakdown in the bag. Please go check out our YouTube. It has all of our previous episodes uploaded there on our YouTube in a playlist. The Super Breakdown. There's a few episodes, at least our latest episodes, that are not in the playlist just yet, but they are up there. Look for them through our videos. They'll be there. Watch them, like them, share them. Tell your friends. Tell your mama. Tell your daddy. Tell your grandmama. The Super Breakdown is here to stay. We're growing. We're getting better at what we do. We're having way more fun. Every damn episode, we're having way more fun. And by the end of the month, we'll be launching www.thesuperbreakdown.com. And with that, we will also be launching our merch line, Fuck Prep Time. So you can look forward to December 30th. Right? There's the 30th of December. Am I correct?
Yes, there is.
Right. Yes. December 30th will be the official launch date of all of our merchandise. From our Fuck Prep Time clothing line, we're talking sweaters, hoodies, t-shirts, pants, you name it. If you have a special request item, if you want to get Fuck Prep Time on something special, let us know. We can make it work. We can, drop us a DM on Instagram, the Super Breakdown Podcast, and let us know if you want it on a cup, you want it on a mug, a tumbler, you want it on a rug, you want it on a blanket. Let us know. You want to cuddle up with Fuck Prep Time? Let us know. We would definitely make that happen. We can get that special order in there for you as well. But yeah, from our Fuck Prep Time stuff to a ton of other designs that we're doing, and every time we make a new design, we will be throwing it up on our store. You can purchase through the website when it launches. Day of launch, you can purchase all of our everything through the website right there on the spot, and it'll be shipped to you. Give it about a week to 2 weeks, business days, to go through, business weeks to go through, and it will be there to you. Guys, we love you. All level 7s, we love you. This wouldn't really be too possible if we didn't know that you guys liked watching it, that you guys loved hearing us talk about dumb shit. You guys love our fuckery and buffoonery. Tune in next week on Christmas Eve, 7 p.m. on Christmas Eve. We'll be talking about the big red jolly man himself, Santa Claus, from both Marvel and DC. But also, I know a lot about like the actual in life, real life Santa Claus lore and shit like that too. So we'll be playing along with all that DC, Marvel, real life, or mythos of Santa Claus. So please tune in next week, same time, same place. And apparently we're going to be streaming to Instagram too. We're going to be going Instagram live soon as well. Next episode, we also will be live on Instagram for all of our Instagram viewers as well. Kick, same place. YouTube, same place. Facebook, the same goddamn place. We will see you next week on the Super Breakdown.
You won't
Peace.
believe my theory on the elves. I tell you that much.
Oh my God. Is that why you wanted to do Santa Claus?
I have a theory on the elves, man. It's right up there with Snow Miser having died from AIDS and Heat Miser having HIV.
What the fuck? Oh, I have a feeling we're gonna have some more merch coming soon. We're gonna have some holiday merch coming. Oh, this is gonna be good. We will see you guys next week on the Super Breakdown, where we'll be talking about Santa Claus. Peace.